Hi, so my name is Ailean. I'm based in Singapore. So what I will go through is really a different mentality here to actually achieve customer experience with testing and learning. So let's start. All right. So everyone knows that consumers now have very high expectation of what you present to them on your website as well as on your app. They want something that is very personalized for them. They want something that is relevant to them. And naturally, they want a journey that is seamless across all their touch points. So you never had a second chance to actually impress your customers. So that's why we actually look into why this experience is so important. So 74% of consumer gets frustrated if the content is nothing to do with them. That means you only have one chance to impress them. After this, they will just leave your website or leave your app, okay? And the survey shows that 48% of consumers will spend more when the information is relevant to them. Thus, company must really actually provide an experience that is optimal to individual personalized visitors itself, right? Customers expect a different experience when they come back to your website. So this shows you the evolution of a customer. A customer can come to your website as an evaluator, just looking around on the products that you provide. Then what do you do to activate them to buy your product? After you activate them, they become a beginner. They start buying a product, testing a product from you. Then your messaging will be different, where they start adopting the product, become a regular, coming back to your website regularly, and then adoring your product, be a champion, introduce their friends to buy your product. So this is an ongoing cycle that you need to actually optimize the experience of this user as they grow and become your loyal customer. Okay? So why is it so difficult to meet this and exceed customer experience? We know that in each company, there's 3 main departments, right? Marketing have lots of ideas to actually, create many campaigns, right? But then there is the product manager team that actually does the app, create the app, analyze the app, and then you have the engineering and IT team that do the development of your app, okay? So to communicate across these 3 departments is not easy, everyone knows that. So what do you do to actually reduce the conflict and accelerate the process of creating your campaign and updating your app or website across the department itself, okay? So what we provide as a solution is across the 3 different departments. So from a marketer point, you are looking at your website. As a digital marketer, what type of campaign am I pushing on your website? So what we provide here is an experimentation and personalization platform for digital marketers to easily create campaigns using the widgets and our widget editor without much programming. So you really don't need to wait to go back to the IT department, to go back to your web development team to create any small changes or your campaign that you want to create on your website. Okay? In the center, we also do product recommendation and search merchandising. So this is very targeted to e-commerce clients where you want to upsell new products. When they purchase a pants, you want to upsell a top to them, right? So that's really the product recommendation part. And search merchandising would be to actually encourage them to look into the correct criteria. So when they start searching on your website, they may type or spell something wrongly. You can encourage them or smartly lead them to the right criteria they're looking for. And lastly is about experience rollout. So this is a feature management product that we actually work very closely with product analytics team to roll out experiment on the app itself, right? So this is where product team is rolling out new products. They also want to test whether it's actually fitted for the market or not, and before they actually roll out to 100% of their traffic. So I'll go into more of these different product lines shortly as well. Okay, but very importantly, whether you are doing it for your web or your app, it all relies on the data that is collected. So I think we talk a lot about first party, second party data. We also work a lot with other partners in this community, whether it's CDP, whether it's product analytics. This is where the data sits, okay? And A/B Tasty is the one that action on top of this data itself. Okay? Let your good ideas take flight. This is A/B Tasty's module, and we aim to actually make it easy for digital marketers to just create a campaign, put your ideas into action within a couple of minutes. Okay? So A/B Tasty is a global company. We are a French company. We have about 1,100 clients globally. In APAC, we have office in Singapore as well as Sydney. Okay, so these are some of our global clients. In APAC, Singapore is our base, where we have clients like Razer, NTUC FairPrice, Samsonite, Calvin Klein's, and the luxury brands. Okay, so this is the evaluation or feedback that we get from our clients on G2. You can see that we compete a lot in the space with Google Optimize. So I'm not sure how many people here are familiar with GA, Google Analytics, and Google Optimize. There's an announcement on Google Optimize being sunsetting in September, and A/B Tasty being recommended as a solution for that. So you can see the scoring here that A/B Tasty focus a lot on ease of use, ease of setup, as well as ease of admin. Okay, and these are some awards. I think one thing to take note is the highest user adoption. Everyone here knows that when you implement a Martech or a technology, it's a struggle to get your users to use it. So how do you actually achieve this highest user adoption? Okay. Right, more into our product itself. There's 3 different platforms. One is client-side one. You can see that the look and feel there is very much a visual editor. So it's drag and drop, is what you see is what you get type of visual editor. Server-side rollout. So this is a feature management solution for your app. So while an app is running on your SDK, we provide a code to be included in this SDK. And based on that, we can control all the elements on your app itself. Okay? And then lastly is our product recommendation and search engine. Okay? So this actually shows you the 3 different departments that we addresses. The green one addresses the digital marketers. There's the product the feature management tool in red, which is for your product team. And then the search and recommendation tool, which is addressing across board for people. Okay, so it addresses the need of different departments accordingly. So on the engagement or optimization of this journey itself, you can see that as a user actually goes through the journey from acquisition to loyalty, there's many things that you can do, right? From acquisition, the first time they come to your website, you recognize them as a new visitor or anonymous visitor. You can just drop a welcome message, or you can determine that they are coming from an advertisement, for example. So you can actually create a specific segment if they are coming from Facebook ad or Google ad. And then you can decide what to do next. Discovery, they are considering, they are browsing through your website. So different things that you can create. Intent, you can do a social proof when they are looking at a product itself, right? And then across, when they buy it, you can have a progressive bar, you can experience basically different type of personalized QR code or even a promotion code for different categories, right? So this is across board, the type of things can be done on an optimization and personalized journey itself. Okay, so from a client side point, with a JavaScript code that we provide, that is to be included of your header of your website, we can gather over 150 data points. This is not connecting with any CDP or any analytics tool. But if you already have an analytics tool, just say GA4, we can have a two-way integration with that to gather much more data points and create the segment on a real-time basis to test it out on your website. Okay? Things that you can test out includes like your previous purchase, how much they bought, what type of SKU, what type of delivery method, what type of payment method was used. Okay? So you can create a specific segment according to those transactional details and then retarget them when they come back. So a very good idea would be you want to target the big spenders, right? Those that bought $100 or $100 US, which is maybe a million dong and above, right? So that you actually then drop them more relevant product, or because they are so special, big spender, you give them a promotion code. So you basically can detect those visitors without any of them logging in or any of their previous CDP information itself. Okay? Naturally, you can go down to geolocation, understanding specifically which IP address they are coming from and which city they are coming from. And then behavioral information would be, have they visited the same website the same day, how many times they visited, and things like that. Okay? We provide an easy to build campaign, so there's 7 steps to create your campaign. What you see is what you get type of editor. So with this editor running on your website, you basically can control every element on your website without coding. So you want to change the reorder of your layout, right? Or colors, or your menu bars. Things like this, basically you don't have to go back to your web development team. Because if you have an idea, it's meant to actually allow you to create your campaign within a couple of minutes. Okay? And then you test it out. Because if you have an idea, it's just a gut feel whether you don't know if this is going to be successful on your website. So the campaign allows you to create different versions, original, version 1, version 2, and test it out to actually give you proven and validated data. Okay, so if you are testing out, very simple, 3 different colors, whether red, white, and blue, which one works better? After the testing of 2 weeks, it will actually give you proven data that your visitor of your website like blue color. More people buy because of blue color, right? With this proven data, then you can decide to create that variance into a patch within a few minutes. A patch means you are allowing 100% of your traffic to see this variance, the new blue color that you created. Okay? Naturally, if in the long term you want to change your website to blue, then you go back to your IT team and queue up to get the development done in 2 months maybe, right? So this is really on the initial state of testing your idea and validating your data itself. Okay? And we also provide widgets, over 25 different widgets to do simple things like banners, social proof, countdown banner, progressive bars, and things like that. So different reach out on the website can be done easily. Okay. On the AI engine part, we have 3 different areas where AI is built in. First, in the dynamic allocation of your traffic. So in this case, basically you have 3 different variants. Variants A, B, and C. If you go back to the example that I gave you, whether it's red, white, or blue, that's your different variants. Okay? And you create a campaign to run for 14 days. You don't know which one will be winning, right? But after 2 days, you can see that variant C is actually having a better uplift against your KPI. So your KPI may be in transaction, basically. So what we do, dynamically, we allocate or divert more of your website traffic to variant C so that more people will see the winning variants and your ROI will grow even within this 2-week period. So by the end of 14 days or the 2-week testing period, you can see that 100% of traffic is already seeing the winning variants. Okay, so after this 2 weeks, you can just change the winning variant C into a patch on top of your website itself. Okay. Number 2 is basically an anonymous visitor that comes to your website. You have no data of these visitors that came in, but you can categorize them based on their browsing behavior. So browsing behavior, if they are disengaged, they come to your website, after 5 seconds, they actually bounce off. That will be a disengage. So we will categorize them into a segment for you, and you can decide what to do with them. And then lastly, we do have content interest. That means if they've been looking at a certain term, certain type of category, after a few times they are looking at or searching on that category, like here, cocktail dress, you will start showing them more relevant product itself. Okay, so the idea of A/B Tasty is to test and learn, right? So in order to do that, you need very clear reporting to prove that what you tested is beneficial. So what we provide here is powerful reporting, where after immediately you create a campaign, you can see the uplift against the different variants. Right? So it's very clear which one is winning against your KPIs, right? And then we go by statistic as well. So it actually shows you the gain probability of each of your experiments, and it also shows you the ROI of all your campaigns over a period of time. Okay? So that's for the website, what we call client-side experimentation. For server-side experiment, that means anything connected to the internet, whether it's an app, a setup box, a cure center, or anything like that. It can be tested from the product team itself, right? So for this, other than doing the experimentation and personalization, you can do feature management and risk-free release, okay? For a product team, their focus is really on releasing or improving your app itself. So some would have a 2 weeks release period, right? They have new features or new bugs that fix in the app, and they release it every 2 weeks, right? What it allows them to do, or from a product team, is to flag out these new features to allow control of the new feature even during the release itself. A good example would be an e-commerce app where they are implementing a new payment method. Okay, so what you do is you flag out this new payment method and do a progressive rollout from phase 1 you roll out to 20% of your traffic. If it hits a 90% success rate, then next week you roll out to phase 2, 50% of your traffic. And then it still continue on the third week, then you roll out to 100% of traffic. If this new payment method is smooth, right, it's 90% success. On the third part is about rollback KPIs. So if this new payment method does not achieve 90% of success rate, it allows you to automatically shut down this new payment method. Because you already flagged out this feature to need to achieve that specific KPI. When it actually shut it down, it doesn't affect your app. The open payment methods will continue. Your customer will still be able to buy. So the good thing is it's giving you a risk-free release. So whatever you release, it doesn't affect your old customer, but it tries to improve your product. Okay, so this is ready for app itself to actually encourage testing of their new releases before they roll out to 100% of traffic. Okay, naturally we have all the reporting for that as well. And AB Tasty was recognized for Forrester as one of the leaders for this feature management product as well. All right. So from an architecture point, it's a global enterprise solution that goes by 99.95% availability. We are actually hosted on AWS and Google Cloud GCP. So naturally we go by all the international compliance standards as well. Okay, so these are some use cases. So Decathlon is one of our clients globally, and this actually shows you two different variations. Okay, so the tech team is actually creating two different variations to monitor the new features, right? So this is for the app itself to monitor certain CTA that is placed and ensure that the rollout is measured as correctly as possible. Okay. So this actually produce 10% extra uplift for a transaction based on testing this button. So whether you are going to add to cart here itself, or are you adding to cart on the later of the page itself, right? So it actually produces a better uplift when you have an add to cart button immediately after your product itself. Okay. This is also Decathlon, where they actually shows you a social proof, right? Social proof is basically nudging the people to buy when they are looking at the product itself. So here, there's a line that says 90 visitors in the last 24 hours. So it shows how popular this product is, and the mentality of the users will change and they start buying the product. This is another example to improve the search bar. Where should you put the search bar itself, right? So if the version 1, there's no result because he types the spelling wrongly, right? But after they type the spelling wrongly, what should you be displaying, right? The version 1 displays search bar only, so you have a search bar there. Version 2 display product category. So it shows all the different category. And version 3, you display a search bar as well as all the different category. So it actually shows that you don't know which one is the best idea, but version 2 seems to be the better version here, where you basically shows them the category and not going to search anymore. Okay, so it's actually reduced the bounce rate as well as increased the transaction rate here. In the fintech industry, one of our clients is Money Smart Singapore, which is doing comparison of the different loans, so personal loan itself. And this is very simplifying the form that you need to fill in to actually get a loan, right? So the first one is the original version, the second one is a more simplified version, and the second version seems to be more, people like this second version more basically. Okay, that's all for my section. Thank you very much, hope it's clear. Yeah, feel free to drop by our booth, and we actually look forward to speaking to you.